Good morning, everyone. It's Lee Henson, president and founder of AgileDad, and it's time for today's episode of the Daily Standup. So without any further ado, let's get started. It's Friday, and it's time for another one of our agile, not so agile, out of the box thinking episodes where we focus on things that uplift you, that move you, and are going to help you be a better person. This is an old tale. It's a parable, and it's something that I thought about because it really does, here comes the Agile tie-in, it really does help us focus on using the force. And, as we celebrated May 4th this week and Cinco de Mayo and all these other things that are happening this week, it's just a very magical day. I thought it would be really, really cool to share a story with you about thinking outside of the box and about being honest and about integrity and about all kinds of good stuff. So here we go. So in a small, remote Italian town, many hundred years ago, there was a small business owner, and he was struggling to get by, much like we're all struggling today. And he owed a large sum of money to what was then, I guess, a loan shark, I guess the best way to put it. So the gentleman that he owed money to was a very wealthy, older, not attractive, not physically attractive gentleman who was brash and just very, very bright, but very, how shall I put it? Very snarky, very, very much not who you thought it would be when you met him. And he just so happened to also really find the business owner's daughter extremely attractive. Now, she was a younger girl, and she was a young lady, and she was absolutely beautiful. And many people in a town vied for her heart. But it was one of those things where she was, a good person, a person of integrity, and she was preserving her love for the perfect person. Well, he decided, the loan shark, that he was going to offer the businessman a deal that would completely wipe out his debt that he owed him. And of course, the business owner who was struggling was very grateful and trying to figure it out. He said, but there must be some catch. The catch is that he would only wipe out the debt if the businessman allowed him to marry his daughter. Now, needless to say, this proposal was met with a look of disgust both from the business owner and from his daughter. They couldn't believe they were being placed in a situation, and he gave them a small amount of time to think about it. And they came back, and they were just so uncertain. They just, they wanted the debt to be wiped away, but no way did he want to push his daughter into a relationship that she didn't want. So the loan shark decided, he says, I have an idea to make this fair. He says, we'll place two pebbles in a bag. One pebble will be white, one pebble will be black. The daughter would then reach her hand into the bag and retrieve a pebble. The pebble she pulled out was black. The debt will be wiped out, and the loan shark would be allowed to marry her. If the pebble was white, the debt would also be wiped out, but the daughter wouldn't have any obligation to marry the loan shark. Knowing that the debt was way more than he could ever handle, the business owner reluctantly agreed. So standing on a pebble-strewn path in the businessman's garden, the loan shark bent over and quickly picked up two pebbles. While picking them up, the daughter noticed that he picked up two black pebbles and placed them both in a bag, meaning that either way, she would have to marry him. He asked the daughter, now's your chance. Confirm your destiny, reach into the bag and choose a pebble. The daughter at this point naturally had three choices, right? Option one, she could refuse to pick a pebble from the bag, call out the guy, and infuriate him and make the debt even worse because of the way she handled the situation. Two, take both pebbles out of the bag, expose the loan shark for cheating, and make things even worse. Or three, reluctantly pick a single pebble from the bag, knowing full and well that it was going to be black, and sacrifice herself and her love for her father's freedom. I don't think any of those three options are good options, but the question I have for you is, how often in this world are we faced with uncertainty, with greed, with people who try to push us to do things that we maybe don't need to do or aren't in our best interest, how often do we put ourselves in a position or find ourselves in a position where the decisions that we make for the benefit of others put ourselves in peril? So she instantly made a decision of what she was going to do. And she reached her hand into the bag and drew a single pebble. As she was removing the pebble from the bag, she looked into her hand and it accidentally dropped into the midst of other pebbles all over the ground. And at this moment, she goes, "Oh my goodness, I am so clumsy. I'm so sorry. Never mind. If you look into the bag for the one that's left, you'll be able to tell which pebble I picked." At this point, the loan shark realized that he'd been duped. The pebble left in the bag was obviously black. Seeing as the loan shark didn't want to be exposed, he had no choice but to play along, pull the black pebble out of the bag, and go with the assumption that the dropped pebble was white, and clear her father's debt without the obligation of marriage. The thing I love most about this story, I can't decide whether it's the fact that she was so smart and so cunning, or whether it just goes to show you that good always wins, that love always wins. And I think in this world, we've had so many opportunities where we've been falsely judged or ridiculed, or, you hear me often talking about the eyes of prejudice and cognitive bias and things that happen. I think this is a great story and a great example and a great message to teach us that in life, we're going to have to choose pebbles. And sometimes it's not going to be fair. I've seen situations where there are 100 black pebbles and only one white pebble, and your mission is to pick out the white pebble, and no one's trying to cheat. The white pebble's there. It's just you got a 1 in a million chance of getting it. I'm going to argue that those odds are sometimes worth it. Because if you do pick the one white pebble, it could change your life forever. As long as the black pebble doesn't put you in a place or a situation where it creates harm for you or others. So this message of overcoming tough situations, creative outside of the box thinking, helping people realize the fault in their ways by allowing them to be the determining factor. The art of listening, the art of following through. All of these things are exhibited in this story. And I just really know in my heart of heart that as we grow and as we take on our journey of life and as we take on our journey as Agilists, that it's important for us to understand where we are, where we're going, and what we can do to make a difference. I hope this story uplifted you as much as it uplifted me. It was just a really cool story I thought I'd share. As always, we encourage you to tune into the AgileDad Daily Stand-Up Podcast, where every day you can learn something agile or something uplifting and something that's just going to help you on your journey in this life. So as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you next week. Until next time, do take care.